Hey, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and we're sitting in Kana's Corner, second interview of the day, so it's a really active day, and I have Curb here. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Now, actually, I wanted to ask, how was Anime Milwaukee? I heard you just got back from that.
Yes, it did. It was incredible. I got to sleep in the same bed with little Karibo for 3 days. That was the
But
best part. No, that wasn't the best part. That was cool. Uh, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We met Chris Sabat, who I had met a couple times, but I got to like sit down and have lunch with him for an hour, which was amazing. Nicest guy ever. We did a whole bunch of panels, premiered a couple new videos for Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and all that. And yeah, it was very fun. I'd love to come back someday. So
now, was that your first time as a guest?
yes, it was. I at least in an anime convention, I had been a guest at the Music and Video Games Festival run by Crows over Christmas break this last year, and that was a
Anime
lot.
Magfest?
Yes, MagFest. That was my
Ah.
first time as an actual guest anywhere, but this is my first guest appearance at an anime convention specifically. So, by the way, I didn't even introduce myself. The people probably don't even know who I am, do they? Listening right now.
Well, we had you on the show before, and we talked about your awesome Flash work.
That's true, but I guess this one's more about my Pokemon involvement since we're doing Pokemon's weeks.
It's
So,
Pokemans. Everybody's going nuts. Though we're doing a tournament right now, and people are saying lingo I don't even. What is this? I played Pokemon Yellow. What?
yeah, you're about like 50 generations behind. That's
Exactly.
okay. So are many people in the U.S., so it's perfectly fine. Well, I guess for like the three people that just tuned in now that don't know who I am, my name's Chris Niosi, and I am an independent animator. I did indeed do an interview on the podcast a little while ago about my animation work, and I've just started doing a little bit of professional voiceover, and my first role was on, you guessed it, Pokemon, which was amazing and was really cool. And my character just finished up his run on Cartoon Network 2 weekends ago now. He had
Oh, you
five
must be
episode
sad
run.
that it's over.
I am very sad that it's over, and people really liked the character too, it seems. Some people didn't like him because he was kind of wimpy, but a lot of people were like, "Oh man, he and Lyra were really neat. I wish they would stay or come back or something," which I'm not holding my breath for, but that'd be nice.
That's true. I mean, Pokemon reoccurring characters are not very common.
Yeah, I mean nowadays they have more recurring characters. There's probably going to be a whole lot of different rivals and whatnot coming up for like that big league competition, based on some of the stuff that I've seen in Japanese. So that should be pretty interesting. But yeah, Pokemon has really developed a lot over the years. It's incredibly different from uh, what I've grown up with, but I followed it for all this time, and it's cool to see it kind of evolve and have different sort of things that weren't done 10, 13 years ago, when I first started watching the show in like 98, 99.
Yeah, it came out in
So,
98. Oh
98.
God.
They were working on it in like 97, I think, was when the pre-production on the show began. So they've really been going at it for a long time. It's pretty incredible. But I was really honored to be a part of it because for something that I grew up with for 10 years of my life. I'm still having trouble believing it, to be honest. But
And you get to brag about it now too.
I try not to because it just annoys my friends. But
I have to wonder though, how'd you come from, animating flash pieces to auditioning for a Pokemon role?
well, I had met these two really good voice directors from New York, Mike Sinterniklaas, who is the voice of Dean Venture on Venture Brothers and many other things. He's director for many shows in the New York area, and Tom Wayland, who is the current of maybe a line of like five or six different voice directors that have worked on Pokemon for the past 13 years. He was the current voice director for the show, and I had met the two of them on and off at various conventions and things like that, and they were really nice people. I was very happy to meet them just in general, because they're very talented at what they do and they produce some of the best stuff I've seen. Tom Wayland in particular, who directed me on my episodes, he's worked on lots and lots of old school New York dubbed anime like Revolutionary Girl Utena and the Irresponsible Captain Tyler, the original Slayer series from way back. or all sorts of cool stuff like that. So that in itself was pretty awesome, and he really really knows what he's doing. He and the people that he worked with at the studio that do Pokemon now, they're incredibly good, and I have tons of respect for them. But anyway, sucking up aside, I had met him and Mike Sinder Nicholas a couple times at conventions, and they were having a contest at the New York Anime Festival, which is a con that's pretty much in my backyard over here. Um, and they were having a voice acting contest at the convention. So pretty much on a whim, I decided to enter it, and I prepared a monologue that I'd written of one of my original characters, and tried it out. And I made it to the end, and I showcased that I knew how to dub, and that I knew how to act, and that I knew how to improvise, and that I had range. And me and a friend of mine, Crystal Longquist, who is a very talented actress in her own right, she and I won the contest. Both of us, we tied for it. And but that wasn't it wasn't as cut and dry as that. I actually had to audition for Corey, my character in the show, just like anybody else. I had to come in, and I got a side, which is the term for like when you get this little, you get a picture of the character and a couple lines, usually of displaying their different emotions, their highs and lows, so you can hit every bit of the character. And I went in, and I don't know how many other people I was up against. I know that I competed for it along with a friend of mine who had actually been on the show before, and which was kind of neat and kind of interesting. We never had that happen before, but I got called back in for the role after about a week or so, and I was totally excited for it. And I went back in to record my character after I had nailed it, and it took about 3 different sessions. I had those 5 episodes where, because he's basically in about a month's worth of episodes promoting Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which we'll probably go into a little bit later. But he was there for that amount of time, and then this previous weekend, when the game was released, his last episode just finished the weekend prior. So it was pretty brilliant marketing, I got to say, that having him and Lyra, his partner character, the two of them kind of integrated into the show for a little while to promote the game. I thought, oh, that's kind of a neat idea, because they had done that a long time ago with Pokemon Snap. They had the character from that game join with Ash and Company for a little while. I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. So basically, Corey, who's this wimpy little glasses-wearing Pokemon breeder who looks up to Brock and is kind of dominated by Lyra, I guess, in some sense, because she's kind of the spunky one, and he's the wimpy one. I don't mean dominated like that. You know what I mean.
We know. It's supposed to be PG, so hopefully they didn't think about it.
No, I don't mean it like that at all. I promise. But yeah, he was a really fun little character. It's interesting too, because I didn't realize the story arc with him and Lyra joining Ash and Company is really about him developing and kind of becoming more confident in himself and his ability to train and breed Pokemon and everything. And then he and Lyra have kind of a heartfelt farewell as they go back to Johto in the final episode. And it was really cool. I could not have had a better first role and a better first audition and a better first recording session. No, I lied. No, that wasn't my first audition. I actually had been called in to audition for another character who was in a couple episodes, and I did not get him. He was a lower, more serious, like dramatic character, which I was really excited about too. I really wanted him because I thought that would have been something neat to do. But thankfully, the guy who got it is really, really good, and he's done tons of other work in New York. And so I actually wasn't bitter about losing the character to him. But Corey was pretty much right up my alley, because Corey is pretty much me if I were in Pokemon as a character. In like every way, shape, or form possible, except I don't have a Jewish afro and green hair and glass. Well, sometimes I wear glasses.
Well, now I have to wonder, do you look up to Brock?
I always thought Brock was a neat character. I hated to see him go when he disappeared for about a year. And by the way, you can hear sirens because I'm sitting in a college dorm room right now where the sounds of New York City are abuzz. So.
What did you do?
The Pokemon police are coming after me. Oh god, they're gonna get me because of the domination joke. Oh god, I'm in trouble. No! Bye everybody. No.
That would be the worst way for a guest to leave, being arrested.
In the middle of the no, think of how much publicity you'll get. It's like, oh man, our guest was arrested the other day. It was awesome.
And then you'll talk about it and it'll get in the newspaper. It's amazing. I should just call 911 on you now.
Oh, why God? Um, but yeah, no, Brock is cool. Yeah, no, I've always liked Brock, and it was kind of cool to do sort of the same things he does. Whereas I'm sure kids who watch the show will realize Brock kind of just sits on the side and goes, it's really cool when okay, this Pokemon is a so and so type, and this move is really strong. So that's basically what Corey was doing, was standing on the side and doing like the I always pictured that as they're doing what the little screen at the bottom of the game does, where it's like, oh, it's super effective. Oh, whatever. Like, oh, you're doing this. Oh, no, it's not very effective or whatever. I always kind of assumed it was kind of like that, except somebody's on the sidelines commentating on it, which normally you probably wouldn't do, but it's a kid show, so. But what was the question again? Yeah, Brock is cool. Yes. Is that long-winded enough for you?
Yes, it is. I have to wonder how bad did you sort of force your friends down? Watch this when it finally did air on cartoon.
I was pretty adamant about it, but you know what? They were happy to watch it, and it was interesting because a lot of my college classmates and everything, they play the video games, but they don't really watch the show anymore. They haven't since probably like the really early, like first couple seasons, if at all, and they started watching it again, and they enjoyed it, and they're like, "Oh, it was so cool! Loved your performance." They're like, "Who's the chick with the blue hair? Where did Misty go? What's going on?" They have not seen the show in like 7-8 years or something since they quit, and they're completely like, "What's going on? Where is like all these other characters that I remember, and why is the theme song different, and why is this and that, and I don't get it." So, and at the same time, it was kind of fun to sort of get back into it again and relive their childhood. Where, man, I remember getting up on Saturday mornings and watching new episodes, and then I'm like, yeah, me too, every morning, because I live a sad and pathetic life. But yeah, no, they were totally cool and supportive of it. I had a couple people that were a little like, someone was jealous about it, but that comes with the territory, and as an actor, you just kind of have to accept that. But
definitely.
But most people were very endearing and cool about it, and they really enjoyed it. And I was very appreciative that they even... Chris Sabat, speaking of which, Chris Sabat took the time on this past Saturday at Anime Milwaukee, to get up early and watch 2 full episodes of Pokemon, thinking that I might have been on, because he wanted to go out of his way to see some of my work. And, and I was like, dude, I love you. And I felt so bad, because he submitted himself to watching an hour's worth of Pokemon, and I wasn't even on the episodes, so he didn't get to accomplish the purpose he was watching it for in the first place. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, but thank you, you're amazing. So.
But that's really sweet. That means you're kind of expanding in the voice. I'm doing it too. Thank you. The voice acting world, and hopefully you can get more roles in the future. That'll be the big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be realistic, and something that I appreciate Tom for is that he likes to have a sort of consistency in the Pokemon world. Where, like, if I were to come back as another little, 12-year-old, 14, I don't know how old Corey is, a young kid with geeky glasses wearing sort of guy, he'd sound exactly the same as Corey. So obviously, if I were to come back, I'd love to do something different. Because I really loved auditioning for that serious kind of older character on my first audition, and I certainly hope if something like that comes up again, that'd be really neat. And also that'd be a different enough from Corey to where kids would be saying, "Hey, he sounds like that character that was in the show like 3 months ago. What the hell?"
Well, most of the kids who watch Pokemon nowadays, I think they're like 9 and younger. I think that's the demographic.
Yeah, I mean, I was a dork, and I was always the person noticing, hey, this guy sounds like the same guy that was in the episode, like, just before this one, and that girl sounds like the character in that episode that was, like, 3 episodes, because I was a loser, obviously. But,
I don't think you're a loser. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, one person doesn't think I'm a loser. No, it's true. But, yeah.
I mean, just compare yourself to Crows.
No, Crows is amazing. I love him. Nobody ever make fun of Crows, because he's awesome, so shut up.
Oh.
No, it's okay. But yeah, and also speaking to Chris and everything, and knowing a few people from Funimation, if I were to go down to Texas for a convention of some kind or just to visit, hopefully maybe I can do something at Funimation or otherwise, because I'd love to be involved. They do some of the best work I've ever seen, so I'd love to do stuff for them. And yeah, so I mean, I'll be honest with you too. If Corey were my only role, if Corey were like the end of my voice acting career, I would be okay with that because, to be honest, doing voiceover is not my primary goal in life. As I mentioned in the previous interview, my goal in life is to become an animator and create my own series and do all these different things. And voice acting just happens to be a part of it that I really, really enjoy genuinely, and I've been so into it since middle school. And Pokemon means the absolute world to me. Something that I grew up with again for 10 years of my life. Just the fact that I got to be on it as somebody and as such a character like Corey too, was really meaningful to me. Like I didn't even care if like, man, you know what? People probably think I sucked, but I don't care because I got to be on Pokemon, and that's plenty. That's all I need. Thankfully, people did enjoy it regardless, so that was a bonus. Good. But yeah, no, I certainly wouldn't mind continuing to do so because I really, as I mentioned, I love doing voiceover, and it's one of my favorite parts of the animation process. But if Corey were my only role, and that were the end of my voice acting career, I think I would actually be okay with that.
Well, don't
Uh,
jinx yourself, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners really want to hear
no,
you
don't
and
you see?
something.
It's reverse psychology. By not caring about it, that I will get. No, I think that was kind of a factor. The fact that I did not make voiceover my primary goal in life. I think that allowed me to have this sort of down to earth mentality that, you know what, if I get it, that's cool. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. Because I know so many people that are dedicating themselves to becoming voiceover actors, and that's what they want to do completely with their lives. Which, normally I'd say go for it, go for your dreams and do whatever you need to get there. But unfortunately, I think sometimes when you get there are a lot of people that get into the mentality of I want to do just anime voiceover and I'm going to move to Texas and I'm going to be the new star of Funimation and it's going to be great. And a lot of those people, some of which are actually very good, unfortunately don't get very far because I think they get so obsessed and so kind of like diluted with it that that kind of gets in the way of it. And I think that you need to be passionate about it, and you need to be you need to have a huge love for the work and everything, but you also need to be realistic, and you also need to know that voiceover is kind of a niche market, and it's really, really difficult to get into, especially animation work.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, actors or voice actors all the time say, to be a voice actor, you have to be an actor first. There's not just, the anime. There's the video games, the commercial, and everything else. And then there's acting on stage or even on camera work.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why a lot of time, I give so much credit to a lot of my amateur friends that haven't gotten into the business. The ones that I feel need to be working and that are so good are the ones that like have theater experience, or have been doing film and stand up, or they're creators like me. Like my acting ability. I mentioned this at the panel too over the weekend. I don't have any acting experience. I didn't take theater. I didn't take radio. My acting experience comes from two things: being a psychopath as a kid, and I still am. Being a psychopath, and imitating Jim Carrey and Robin Williams when I was like 5 years old with my dad, or and also creating characters and being a writer and an animator and someone who is a content creator. I think that doing that has definitely helped out my range and my character creation and my ability to have my sensibility of what is good and bad acting. And even in my case too, a lot of my friends don't think I'm actually very good because the fact of the matter is my voice is not very. It doesn't have a lot of range to it. I pretty much just sound like I am a teenager, and I have my lows and I have my highs, and that's about it. And I can't do a lot of like really really cool voice like Martin Little Karibo. I love you. He's listening. He has like some of the biggest range I've heard in any actor online that is not working professionally. Although and he does theater, so there you go. He's a theater guy, and he's been doing this for years and years. So he's practiced his craft a lot, and I give him all sorts of props. I don't have a lot of range in my actual voices. I have a lot of range in my ability to act. Like I can play a lot of different characters that are all within a sort of human sounding range of just normal stuff. but I don't have a lot of like crazy character-y stuff. I mean, like we all have our impressions of movie stars and like certain cartoon and anime characters, but those aren't going to get you very far because somebody's already playing those characters. So you don't put those in your demo typically. But
Unless you're James Arnold Taylor.
unless you're James Arnold Taylor, in which case like you have enough credibility to where they'll be like, "Oh man, that's so cool because he put so and so on it." Oh man, then they'll still hire you anyway. So, but I'm not James Arnold Taylor, so.
Well, no, we understand. And we're going to take a short break here on 91.8 The Fan, but we'll come back and we'll talk about Pokemon Soul Silver and Pokemon Heart Gold, which you can still win by emailing me, just so you know.
Yay!
Keep it tuned to 91.8.
918thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forums, in an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
Hey, everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. And we're sitting in Kana's corner. We still have Kirb here, and he is apparently playing his Pokemans.
I sure am. And I'm fighting Lance, the champion. I've spent like 20 hours on this game since I bought it on Monday morning, and I'm just about to beat his Aerodactyl, which is the last Pokemon he has left. But this game has been mad fun. Oh my god.
That's actually pretty cool. I heard that game is really interesting. Everybody and their mom's playing it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like wiped every other Pokemon kind of, out of the water, which is amazing.
It is an amazing game. So
now, I'm curious, how in conjunction to the episodes did they work? With your character, did they work with the Pokemon Heart Gold and the Pokemon Soul Silver?
Well, essentially, from what I can determine anyway, it seemed kind of like they definitely had a conscious effort to have lots of Johto specific things in the 5 episodes I was in. Corey and Lyra are kind of the embodiment of the guy and the girl trainer that you can play as in the game. This is something I have a lot of complication with describing to my friends, but okay, so have you guys seen, or I guess I'm asking you specifically, Jackie, have you seen the guy and the girl trainer from Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so a long time ago, there was a game. There was a special called The Legend of Thunder, and it was about Raikou, the electric Pokemon, one of the legendary beasts or whatever it is. And it was about not Ash and his friends, but it was about this character named Jimmy and his friend Marina, who were the guy and girl trainer from the original Gold and Silver. So Lyra, who was my partner in crime character in my episodes of the game, she is the girl character that you can play as in I can't speak English. Oh my god, I'm just about home. What? Pause, everybody. This is the sound of Aerodactyl. Foes, Aerodactyl fainted. Butterfree gained 1,038 experience points. Feraligatr gained 1,038 experience points. Champion Lance is about to send in Charizard. Oh god, he still has a Charizard. Oh god. Anyway, continue. Yeah, Corey and Lyra are... Lyra is the girl from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The guy trainer in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it looks exactly the same as the original one. But they already used that character in the show at one point, but as somebody else. So having him show up again and suddenly friends with somebody completely different, it just wouldn't have really made any sense for the way that the story was set up. So they figured, okay, let's have a different character to stand in for Jimmy / Gold / whatever the guy. So Corey was created, and he was made as a Pokemon breeder, as kind of like a pseudo, like a Johto equivalent to Brock. So they decided to make somebody new, and so he's not literally the playable guy trainer from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but he's kind of like standing in for him, I guess you could say.
Right.
And obviously they have the Johto Pokemon. I have Totodile. Lyra has a Chikorita. And in the first episode with our characters in it, Dawn gets a Cyndaquil. and she keeps Cyndaquil as one of her Pokemon. So Cyndaquil and then the Pokegear, which Brock gets from Corey's dad in the final episode, those are kind of like the remnants of Johto that are staying in the show to market the new game that's come out. Because right now, obviously, the TV show is covering the Diamond and Pearl storyline. And Ash still has one gym left to go. I mentioned earlier he has the Pokemon League competition, and there's the Grand Festival contest and everything. So there's still a lot of Diamond and Pearl stuff to cover. But Heart Gold and Soul Silver is the new game. So they have to find a way to still promote that stuff in the show. So they do that by having the characters keep Johto-related things, to keep the Heart Gold and Soul Silver stuff in all of the kids' minds.
Right.
And, it's very clever. I know it sounds like gobbledygook, but it's really clever marketing, and it's why this franchise has lasted for 13 years and made billions and billions of dollars all across the world. And it's really, really pretty brilliant. I commend them all for it, honestly.
I mean, now that you've explained it to me properly, which I appreciate, I understand it. I'm sure my audience actually knew a good deal of that because they're Pokemon fanatics.
And I'll tell you something to the people listening. I grew up with just the exact same stuff you did. I was obsessed as a kid. I grew up with all of the games. I watched all of the episodes of the show. I was telling my producer, who had been working on the show on and off since the beginning, actually, I was telling her, I grew up with, like, you guys and Veronica and Rachel and Eric and all the original cast and everything, just like everybody else did. So I could not thank them enough. They kept telling me to, like, stop thanking them. I was like, no, dude, you were in the role. It's your thing. You don't have to thank us for it. I was like, I know, but I love you guys, and oh my gosh. So I don't think I made a complete embarrassment of myself when I was in the booth a couple times, thank God. But, I could not help but definitely have a large appreciation and get some of my fanboy juice all over them, unfortunately.
Well, at the same time, that's kind of, that was your show growing up as a kid. It would kind of be like, for me, if I had ever got to be in a Sailor Moon dub, if they ever relaunched that series, because that was my show as a kid. And some people's show was like Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff. So that definitely...
Yeah, Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, those are my two gateway animes. And Chris, meeting Chris over the weekend, too, was kind of my equivalent to that. It's like, dude, I grew up with you for, like, 10 years watching Dragon Ball, and now I'm, like, talking to you and shooting the shit with you over lunch at an anime convention, and he was being, like, so personal and cool with me. I felt like I'd talked with him for, like, 5 years, so that was kind of the closest. I don't know if I'll ever get on Dragon Ball. That'd be pretty cool, but just that in itself was kind of the same equivalent that I had with getting on Pokemon as it was with the Dragon Ball Z part of my life. So.
I definitely know the feeling. We're kind of getting into the fan sort of aspect of it, so I'll just be truthful. We had Scott Simpson on the show, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show Oh My Goddess. It came out back in, I believe...
Oh, yeah, actually, Lyra, speaking of which, Lyra was played by Eileen Stevens, who plays Belle Dandy on Oh My Goddess.
On the TV series, right?
Yeah.
Well,
New York, I believe. I don't
know. Back in the day, I just had the OVA because that's all there was, just 5 episodes, and it was the first DVD that I ever owned. And we had Juliet Cesario and Scott Simpson, who were KHQ and Belle Dandy in that version. And, back in the day, anime really wasn't on TV, so I watched those DVDs over and over and over. So talking to them was so weird for me. It was like, I don't get all, fanboy, fangirly on most of the guests that come on, but it was just like, wow, I'm talking to so-and-so, and it hits.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, like, that, and for Pokemon, too, aside from, but before my involvement with the show, meeting both the new and the old cast. I'm not just saying that. I have appreciations for both of them. They're doing different things, and it is what it is. They're not people to be blamed for, circumstance or whatever, but, like, Michelle Knotts, I'm sorry, Michelle, if you're listening, I keep doing that. Michelle Knotts and Bill Rogers and JC Cathcart and a bunch of the others that work on the show, I love them to death, and they're really, really nice, and they work very hard. And also, Veronica and Rachel and everybody from the original cast who I've had the pleasure of meeting at conventions, who are, they're also some of the nicest people I've ever met, and they're so gracious and humble and nice about the stuff that they do. That in itself was a huge honor, long before I even got involved with the show myself. But yeah, I mean, and it's always great typically to find out that, like, oh, they're totally into it and they love this stuff, and they're really, really nice people, and I'm glad that I've had just nothing but positive experiences with that as of yet.
And that's
So,
really cool too. And just since you mentioned it, if Michelle Knotts is listening, we would love to have you on the show. Wink, 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 wink.
yes, Michelle, come on out, man. I was so excited when I told her, like, hey, I got that guy. And she's like, oh, Corey, spelled weirdly. I can't spell it. Like, yes, I got him. That's, oh my God. So because they had heard me a little bit in the process of recording. Because sometimes when you record your characters, if you've recorded before somebody else, your audio is kept in the episode, so you'll get to hear other people's performances. When I came in, Ash, Dawn, and Brock had all been recorded, so I got to hear them when I was recording my character, which made it really easy too, because then I could kind of play off of their performances and do the absolute best I possibly could. So it was pretty awesome.
Now, was that your very, very first time, like, in a legitimate booth with the director, and you're in a small room for hours on end?
I'd been in the booth before for other little things, nothing like on a professional level, but it was very strange, and I didn't get the chance to tell my director this, but I think I actually came off a lot more nervous than I actually was. Actually, I like to say actually a lot. Actually,
Actually.
actually. I was really comfortable in there. I will admit that dubbing and doing ADR was a little bit trickier than I had first thought, because there's so many things going on at once, and it can be hard to make sure you get the absolute best out of your performance when you're trying to focus on matching the animation, timing with the beeps, just looking at the screen, looking at remembering the lines so you can say it correctly. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but I picked up pretty quick, and I felt like I'd prepped myself well enough with it too. And also because I've watched X bazillion episodes of Pokemon, I felt I was pretty familiar with just the show in general and kind of like the whole air of it. So, but I think that maybe just because obviously Tom knew that I was a fan of this stuff and I grew up with it for that long of a time, I think he kind of thought that I was a little nervous for it being my first time doing a character and everything, but he was very chillaxed. He was very nice, very helpful, and just very professional. I mean, we shot the S word a lot. He was very fun to talk to just in general, but he was also very professional, and we got a lot of stuff done. And he just made me. It was. I felt very at home. I'm not necessarily uncomfortable or anything around sound equipment or being in a tight knit space for hours or whatever. I was just totally raring to go. It was just an absolutely fun experience for my first. Like I said before, I could not have had a better first session, a better first character, a better first audition. All of that. It was just astounding. So.
Well, that's amazing news. And I'm curious, do you have anything in the future? I don't know if you've gone for any auditions or anything, but anything you're doing on the side, any conventions, anything like that?
Sure. Well, I certainly hope I get to come back on Pokemon if they'll have me. There obviously are always new characters popping up, so I'll always keep my fingers crossed for that. Other stuff that I'm definitely doing though, I just recorded my very first game. It's a PC game. It's a dating sim, and it'll be released at A-Kon, I believe. And it's by the studio whose name I forget, but Ayusa Kana, who is this lovely young lady from Texas who's done a little bit of stuff for Funimation before. She was the director on it, and she brought me on as a character, which should be really neat. And that'll be, I believe, in June, I think is when that is. And then I think at the same time, on that same weekend the game is released, I'm going to be going to Game Expo in Florida, which I just found out I am allowed to talk about this. I'm going to that alongside Little Karibo and Team 4-Star and a whole bunch of voice actors from Pokemon and Street Fighter and all sorts of stuff. I'll be going to that. I have Anime Next in New Jersey, which will be a couple weeks after that. Then I have Anime Evolution in Vancouver, which I'm really excited about because I've wanted to go to Vancouver for a long time. That's going to be in August. And other stuff. I'm helping Little Karibo with a lot of stuff on Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which is going to be really cool. I'm really honored to be part of that as well because that's such an awesome YouTube sensation. I'll be playing a character in the next upcoming season, as well as I'm working on a animated music video for season 3, which is going to be really cool. We showed a work in progress version of it at the convention and it got huge laughs, which was awesome. And still working on animation stuff, as I'd mentioned in my last episode. Doing Go-Go Parody Rangers, the movie Part 3, a new collab thing on Newgrounds. I got my thesis coming up next year, which is going to be my biggest project ever. And whatever else. I'm playing Pokemon, which is what I'm going to do right after I finish. I got to beat Lance. I'm one hit away. I have to surf on Charizard, and I'm going to beat him, and the credits will roll, and then I'll feel like I'm 5 again, which I
Well, awesome stuff. Is there anything else you want our listeners to know about?
Well, I'm super new. I know a lot of people are probably not accepting of me yet, but everybody, thanks if you checked out the episodes with Corey and Lyra in them. I hope that for my first character professionally, I did a decent job, and hope I continue to get better and do more of this stuff. And, buy Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because that's what Corey was. He was a walking billboard for that show. So buy the game. Do it. Do it now. Or enter the contest that Niosi Fan is having, and you can win a copy. You can do it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Plug. Anyway.
Well, do you want to talk about that real quick before we head off? Or?
Oh, actually, I've got enough emails, and I'm going to announce the winner very quickly. Actually,
okay, great. Okay,
actually,
cool.
We can announce it right now if you want. We can celebrate together.
Yeah, sure.
The winner is a Jamie Lynn White.
Congratulations, Jamie Wynn Light. Wow, that sounds like a soft drink. Jamie Lynn White, you win a copy of either Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
It was Soul Silver.
Soul Silver, so you can capture Lugia and be all like,
the song has saved me. Oh, sorry, Sue. That's funny. This is what Lugia sounds like. That's funny.
Wow.
I love Pokemon 2000, the Lugia movie. That was a fun one.
Well, that was it. That was actually very awesome, and it was awesome to have you on the show again. You're always a pleasure to talk to.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you very much for having me part of Pokemon Week. I wish I could have called in for Veronica, because I would have loved to have said a few words. But I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of them. And everybody, got to catch them all. Thanks for having me on, and you're listening to 918 The Fan.
Oh, yeah, he did it for me, so keep it tuned to your favorite station. Here's some more Girls' Generation, since we're celebrating them today, and Pokemans.
Pokemans! Oh.